And we're live from the heartland of America. I'm Jeffey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. Welcome to our channel. The old Chinese proverb says, may you live in interesting times. We do, and more than that, we live in spectacular times. We live in exciting times. And we live in times to be remembered. Y'all didn't think I still had this, do ya? Did ya? Y'all didn't think I would ever rock this again, but today, historic news has broken. And like Brandon, I'm glad to be here in these historic times. And dare I don this, ladies and gentlemen? I do dare don. And I just dared donning and done it. Did it. So, you all know, because of who you are, that the Federal Reserve is no more federal than Federal Express. However, today a great step was taken to change things, I believe, and it looks like to change things and to make things not only different, but like we've been saying so long, to make things better than they've ever been. So what happened? Well, and thanks to Tracy Dyer for putting me onto this rabbit trail, we're going to show you what has happened. Oh, does this hat offend some of you? Oh, I'm sorry. Let me, I don't want to offend anybody. I don't want to offend anybody at all. How's that? Is that better for you? Is that better for you? Don't tread on me. Is that better for you? At 9 p.m. tonight, we've got Mike King from the Real History Channel coming on. It's going to be a great show, and I hope that you'll be there, because it'll change your mind. History is a lie agreed upon, and we're about to break it down tonight at 9 p.m. with Mike King from Real History. It's going to be great stuff. So let me just go into the show. Let's talk about what we're here to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. And what we're here to talk about right now started off, Tracy Dyer sent this to me through a tweet. I hate to wear hats. I'm sorry. I just hate to wear them. And this is a tweet come from Bards of War, and I now follow Bards of War. But he says this on Twitter, and we do have over 100,000 followers on Twitter. But if you'd like to come over and make it even more, come to @unindoctrinate and follow me on Twitter. And Tracy's on there too, Lady Liberty Bell or Lady Liberty, something like that. But anyway, you'll find her, Tracy Dyer. So watch this. In a single move today at 4:31 p.m. Eastern Time at POTUS, that's the President of the United States, freed the world from the Rothschilds' control. Freed the world from the Rothschilds' control. That sounds like a huge statement. The United States now controls all central bank requests at LA Liberty Bell, is Tracy Dyer on Twitter. The United States now controls all central bank requests for credit for all 186 foreign nations. Yes, this is part of a Q drop. So at 4:31 p.m., the President of the United States, freed the world from Rothschild's control. The United States now controls all central bank requests for credit for all 186 foreign nations. RIP, Federal Reserve. This is huge. This scheme essentially merges the Fed and Treasury into one organization. So meet your new Fed chairman, Donald J. Trump. But we don't want to just trust a tweet, so we go right to the source. Here's the source. This is a story on Yahoo Finance, written by Jim Bianco of Bloomberg. And, you know, Bloomberg is typically no friend to the president's. And Bloomberg starts out by saying the economic debate of the day centers on whether the cure of an economic shutdown is worse than the disease of the virus. Similarly, we need to be asked if the cure of the Federal Reserve getting so deeply into corporate bonds, asset-backed securities, commercial paper, and exchange-traded funds is worse than the disease of seizing the financial markets. It may be. Remember, this is a guy that loves the Fed. And the bottom line of this whole thing, folks, is that Trump has taken control, and Trump is now doing things, to put it bluntly, the Fed isn't allowed to do. The Fed is not allowed to do this. So how can they do it? Because Donald Trump has exercised emergency powers. And here is, in other words, the federal government is nationalizing large swaths of the financial markets. The Fed is providing the money to do it. The scheme essentially merges the Fed and the Treasury into one organization. So meet your new Fed chairman, Donald J. Trump. Folks, do you understand what that means when Donald Trump now has control of the Federal Reserve? He now has emergency powers. And by the way, folks, right after President Trump signed the stimulus thing, the thing that we're all going to get a little check to make it feel better until we can get out of the house again. Right after signing that stimulus, he activated the ready reserves and the reserves. Interesting times, ladies and gentlemen. And being a student of history, I go back into history and I think about, when has something like this happened before? When has something like this happened before? BlackRock is just handling the paperwork. Chill out. Don't worry about it. When has something like this happened before? You know what nationalizing large swaths of the financial market means? That means they're taking over, ladies and gentlemen. They're taking over. They're nationalizing U.S. businesses. They're nationalizing U.S. businesses. So Donald Trump now holds the power of nationalizing U.S. businesses. That emergency thing he signed, he can direct businesses what to do. He has nationalized businesses. He's in control of the military. And he's now in control of the financial system. I go back to 1933, ladies and gentlemen, 1933. And we're going to be talking tonight about the history of World War II and the history that you don't really know about World War II. But in 1933, there was another nation that was under control of the Rothschild / Bilderbergers. There was another nation that was deep, deep in debt because a shadowy cabal had jerry-rigged its monetary supply and had driven it into hyperinflation. And things were really, really bad. And they were starting to get a little bit better. And communist forces within this government made a move to try to take over the government. This at a time when we've got a socialist candidate running for president, when you got communists in Congress, and when you've got multiple attempts at coups against a legally elected president. And now President Trump has been given control of nationalizing businesses, control of the military, and control of the financial system. It happened in 1933 when, I believe I'm right, when Baron von Hindenburg appointed the chairman of the German Workers' Party to the chancellorship of Germany, giving him control of the money supply, giving him power over nationalizing businesses, and giving him power over the enemy. And that man's name was Adolf Hitler. Now, I know you got all kinds of knee-jerk reactions, and I know that you're going to be all excited and all upset. Trump is Hitler. Trump is Hitler. Hold on a minute. Whatever you think about Adolf Hitler and how the story ended, how the story started was he took a nation crushed by foreign debt. He took a nation crushed by too many wars in too many places. He took a nation bruised, busted, and disgusted. He took a nation down in the dumps and turned it around inside of 3 years. Trump now has the powers to do that. I'm just saying. President Donald Trump now has the powers to do that. And at the very least, this is a historic situation. And we're going to find out who Donald J. Trump really is. Is Donald J. Trump what I and about half of you think he is? Or is Donald J. Trump what the other half of you think he is? I am just laughing. I am loving the fact that the more people hate our president, the more he wins and wins and wins and then wins again. Folks, however you look at this, this is a historic day. Do you understand that the Federal Reserve has lost its power? And Donald J. Trump has to give it back to them. You think he's just going to give it back? Do you realize that Donald J. Trump now has control of the military, control of industry, control of finance, and he's got to give it back? Do you think he's just going to give it back? Folks, this takes art of the deal to an entirely new level. Today, folks, a day that we will remember, a day that we'll remember in history, at 4:31 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The President of the United States freed the world from Rothschilds' control. The United States now controls all central bank requests for credit and for all 106 foreign nations. And for some reason, Sylvain can't understand what's going on. Jeff, you want to be a communist. I don't. It's really sad how stupid that comment is. No one wants to be a communist. I just said the problem was that there was communists in the Congress and we're defeating them. Sylvain, are you mentally challenged or are you just pitifully stupid? Get that corn out of my face, you stupid idiot. You can't come in here and make dumb statements like that. Let's go to the chat room. We got to get ready because at 9 o'clock tonight, we've got Mike King coming in. I'm very, very excited about that and looking forward to what he has to say as we look at and relearn history. History is really a set of lies agreed upon. Tonight, we're going to try to break through those lies and look at what really has happened. Look at that. I'm showing my own tweet. The world may have changed today. As Tracy points out, President Trump does like to do big moves on Friday night. Or right after the stimulus, he activated the reserves and the ready reserves. Let's see. Out of the Rothschilds' control, absolutely. Restructuring. Let's see. Let the good times roll. Absolutely. Mercy and Comfort, which are those two ships. You might be rechristening those ships from Mercy and Comfort to Blunt Force and Trauma as we begin to move and as things begin to roll and take place. Brooke's glad to be here, and we're glad that you are here, Brooke. Absolutely. Lisa can feel the change. I can too. Cynthia says it's an unbelievable time to be alive. History is being made, and we are a small part of it. And some of us just have small heads and can't understand what is going on. The Florida governor just suspended all rentals and VRBOs. Ian Jacqueline says, rock and roll. And I had Ian's book laying right here. Just put it back on the shelf. Sorry about that. It's called I Cure Cancer. Ian Jacqueline, go get it. It's a great book. Vince Proctor says it is happening. And it is time to change the vibration, add on more love. See, all the people that are talking about fear, that shows you how powerful we are. Because there's so many people manifesting fear, 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 horror, 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 collapse, 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 bad, bad, bad. And yet the few of us are manifesting peace, 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 joy, 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 good, 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 strength, strength, strength. And our few are manifesting at a more powerful rate than their many. That lets you know how powerful we are. Yeah, I've got a military garb on today, and I did serve 7 years in the military, so feel free to have a hot cup of shut up if this bothers you. And it just shows you we are strong. We are an army. When we join ourselves together, we are an army of unindoctrination. We are an army of unindoctrinators, and our few people manifesting the good that we're projecting is powerful enough to defeat all the gloom and all the doom that's being projected by those others. I'm not worried anymore. I used to be worried that they would be able to manifest their reality. I'm seeing now that I have nothing to fear because we are here. That's a great relief. Thank all of you. Thank all of you. And of course, we do have some pinheads that sneak in now and then, but that's okay because we love pinheads too. Somebody's got to be around to clean the toilets and stuff so we don't have to do it. Not everybody that cleans toilets is a pinhead, but that guy probably would mess that job up, just judging from what we saw there, ladies and gentlemen. Mickey's a great big fan. Thank you very much. I appreciate that because I have a lot of people that are on the other side. That's for sure. Gemini Association has a couple of hats. I'm so glad that you do. I'm here listening. It is good stuff. Absolutely it is. That's what we're here for. And it's at LA Liberty Bell. She said it was fancier or schmancier than I said, but that's what Tracy's dealio is on Twitter. Cynthia says, remember the executive order 2017. Oh, that's right. In September 2017, these things could be linked because you understand the Federal Reserve is not federal. It's not a federal agency. It's a private business. Let me pause. Let me drink some tea and pause a minute. The Federal Reserve is not a federal agency. So President Trump has taken over a private company. He's taken over a private corporation. President Trump is acting as the chancellor of the United States of America. He has taken over the Federal Reserve, a private company, and now he's in charge. And he had already signed an executive order some 3 years ago that all assets of those convicted of human trafficking will be seized. Has he just done that? Is this move in part fulfillment of that executive order? You know the people that run the Fed. And for the first time, do you know that when Trump fired, what was her name, Janet Yellen, and put in the current Fed chairman, do you know that was the first time that we did not have a LEMISH chairman of the Federal Reserve? You start putting pieces together, and before you know it, you got a great big delicious pie of liberty. And I love liberty pie. It's my favorite. So President Trump seizes the assets and control of a private corporation that's been printing money for us and lending us our own money and charging us interest and killing us with debt. I've told you, did I not tell you? I've been telling you for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years before. I remember being on Rex's show with Crazy Uncle Wayne, and he wasn't crazy then. Well, he was crazy then. We just didn't know he was crazy. But and I think Rex was there. Crazy Uncle Wayne was there. Some other people were there. Jenny Moonstone, I think, Heidi. And we did our predictions. And I predicted that Trump was going to do something unprecedented. Not unprecedented because he's the president, but unprecedented as in it's never been done before. And that it was going to have to do with debt and with the Federal Reserve, and no one was going to believe it. And here it is, not even 3 years later. And we see it taking place right before our eyes. Those two actions may well be connected. Score one for the cute blonde-headed Italian girl that I happen to live with. Very, very good. Very, very good. like Iowa. Tracy's still worried about her Twitter handle. That's all right, Tracy. We're all going to follow you, and it doesn't matter. This will be better than the Rothschilds having control. Absolutely, Dave. Ian's in the house. As I said, Nigel's in the house. Go subscribe to his channel. This X22 guy, I don't really know anything about him. Cynthia likes to listen to him. So when I'm in here studying, I hear him. He sounds like he's got some good stuff. He sounds like he's got some good stuff. And again, James, I know this is maybe a little bit over your comprehension level. Mnuchin is in charge, not Trump. Let me get out my White House organization chart. It's really not. It's just a piece of paper. But my White House organization chart says that, well, would you look at that? Donald Trump is Steve Mnuchin's boss. Oh, and when you look at that, Donald Trump appointed Steve Mnuchin. And would you look at that? Donald Trump can fire Steve Mnuchin's ass anytime he wants. And if you don't think Donald Trump knows how to fire people, I refer you to the TV show The Apprentice. You're fired. When you work for somebody that can fire you, you're not in charge, Whittle Jimmy. You're not in charge. Mnuchin is not in charge. Donald J. Trump is in charge. You're not in charge when somebody can send you home. And when somebody can hand you a box and say, clean out your desk, you're not in charge. The guy who hands out the boxes is in charge, and his name is Donald J. Trump. Like it or not. This was in his plan for federal agency consolidation. It's just happening sooner. Dyer, you're good. Tracy Dyer's really good. This was in his plan for federal agency consolidation. You're going to get ready to say goodbye, Federal Reserve, even though it's not a federal agency. It acts as one. Goodbye to the Department of Education. Bye-bye. Didn't ever teach anybody to read or write anyway. Goodbye to the IRS. So long. See you later. It might still be there, but it'll be in a trailer. And there'll be like 8 guys working in it because that's all we need. Bye-bye IRS. Probably bye-bye Department of Ecology. A lot of these things are going to be going away, and I would just love to see bye-bye Homeland Security. Don't know, but boy, I'd love to see that. Freedom from parasites. Somebody gets it. Thank you, Mile. Let's see. I asked my wife to help speed things up a bit faster. I'm not sure what that means, but it sounded kind of funny. Ian, that's what I said. Holy shit. Holy shit. That's what I said. He is gonna kick some ass, just like this guy. That's Trump. We need to put Trump's face on Ian right there, kicking ass. That would be funny. Funny. He is about to kick some ass. Nice to see you, Lou 3-3 Cipher. That's a cool looking meme you got there. Let's see. I think we're in deep doo-doo. The problem there, Bellstar, is that it's the first 2 words. You started thinking. Listen to your blink. Start blinking and stop thinking. Anybody that has a heartbeat knows this is good news. Don't let the stinking thinking of the mass media and the ass media override your blink. Stop thinking, start blinking. Come on, man. This is like deja vu all over again. I like it. And just to underline Jeffey Daugherty's point that Donald Trump has assumed control of industry, Donald Trump picked up the phone and said, yeah, Mr. I don't know the guy's name, Mr. CEO of GM, I know that you are making cars, but I want you to make some ventilators. Yeah, I know, but we looked at it and you got the shit you need. So we want you to make ventilators now. Yes, sir, Mr. President, we'll make ventilators. Boom. There you go. The people that make the NHL jerseys, is it Adidas? they've started making masks too. I don't know if they got a call from the president or not. Madsy, he did. He picked up the phone. And I remember during the campaign, President Trump was saying, you guys are going to be saying, Mr. President, we're winning too much. We feel bad. There's too much winning going on. Wait about 60 days. Wait about 30 days. Wait until after Easter or shortly thereafter when we release this, and wait till this pent up demand and this pent up enthusiasm, and wait till the indictments become more unsealed than sealed. Wait till those ships, blunt force and trauma, take little Caribbean cruises. Just wait till it gets better and better than it's ever been. And remember who said it, and remember who's been saying it. Who's been saying it? And again, don't try this at home. He isn't nationalizing businesses state socialism. If it's done long term, you could argue that. If we decided that it was going to be this way from now on, that would be socialist. That's, and again, Hitler came up, and the word Nazi, I know you think it means monster. I know you think it means snake. The word Nazi means National Socialists. And I'll give you a little lesson. Because most of you, even as enlightened as you are, most of you don't know this. And it's really sad. And it's not your fault. It's our education system's fault. Communism. Government owns everything. They own the businesses. They own the means of production. They own it all. Communism. Okay? Socialism. Private individuals own the businesses. And the government sets this policy for those businesses and can step in and direct those businesses. Like Donald Trump didn't tell GM to stop building cars. They're still going to build cars, and they better build a lot because there's going to be a lot of people wanting some new rides here pretty quick. He didn't tell them to stop building cars because he doesn't own GM. He didn't nationalize the business. I really misspoke. He used executive powers, which are more in line with socialism. Very, very, very well stated. And he said, I'm using these emergency powers, make these ventilators. They said, sure, Mr. President. If that was the way it was, that would be socialism. But Donald Trump, go back to last year's State of the Union address. What did he say? The United States of America will never accept a socialist government. But when you're trying to drain a swamp, you can't drain a swamp without breaking a few alligator eggs. Some of you will realize how witty that was. Some of you won't, but that's okay. You can't drain a swamp without breaking a few alligator eggs. So you got to disempower those gators. You got to disempower those snakes. You got to disempower those big pig boars. They got those in the swamps. You got to disempower all those things, and that's what he's done. So he has temporarily socialized businesses. Very well said, beyond all. I stand corrected of not being particularly accurate in my description, and thank you for calling me on that. Brandon, I know damn well he's going to get to the heart of this, and I'm wondering if you're still single. Brandon, if I remember, 26 years old, plays the guitar, and he's looking for a love connection. And this is the Christian Whistleblower camouflage love connection. Oh, boy. But he said it was our duty, and he's right. It is our duty. Thank you, Pocket Aces, for that great super chat. I appreciate it so very much. This is the opposite of chaos. This is control. What we had was chaos. This is control. Maybe all those executive orders won't be bad. No, they're going to be good. Long live Jeffey Daugherty. Thank you, Pocket Aces. That's in my plan. But what makes me so dangerous is I'm not afraid to die. Admiral James T. Kirk, Star Trek V, The Journey Home, or Star Trek V, the Undiscovered, Star Trek 4. What was it called where they went and searched for God? The Final Frontier. James T. Kirk. I fear nothing. Anyway, there you go. There you go. There you go. Indeed, the champ is stiff tonight. Thank you, Yamate43. I do appreciate it. Let's see. Wall Street, Lou 33 star. Remember yesterday, Wall Street had, it's terrible. The sky is falling. Other idiots on other channels. The financial system is being destroyed. It will never be as good as it is again. Other channels, other idiots, get out of the market. What happened yesterday in the midst of the DOSOM WIST, in the midst of all of this horror? What happened yesterday? The stock market had its largest gains ever in a single day. Its largest gains ever. Ian says, yup. Congress and Senate, I don't think they'll go down, Javanka, but the balance will be restored. You know what I want to see? We got 3 branches in this government. Executive, president, legislative, judicial. If they're all 3 equal, and if we're looking for balance, why is there an 8-year limit on the executive branch only? And I wonder if President Trump's executive powers would allow him, emergency powers, chancellor powers, would it allow him to sign an executive order enforcing the 8-year term limit across all of the federal government? Well, he'd be a daisy if he do. Oh, that would be some great stuff. Some great stuff. Go Trump. I'm down with that. Absolutely. I can't wait to find out who he really is. My money's on a white hat. He's a white hat and a red hat, ladies and gentlemen. He's a white hat and a red hot hat. Samson's just keeping it real. Look, I just hope we have some football. The script is really getting interesting. He's returning power to the people. Do you remember the inauguration? He's just been elected president of the United States. And all the ex-presidents are sitting there. And what did Donald Trump say? Remember this. Go back and listen to it. He said, our victory is not just a historic victory because I won or something like that. But he said, this is a historic victory because we are transferring the power of the United States government back to you, the people. He really meant it. And did you see the presidents? Obama, Bush, Clinton. Look at her, damn shit. No, Clinton, Hillary. He meant it, folks. And we are actually seeing it. We're actually seeing it, ladies and gentlemen. We're seeing it. Social justice judges need to be voted out. I vote against every judge. I'm sorry, if you're a judge and you're in my area voting, you better let me know you're a good guy or a good girl, because I vote out every judge every time. And so does Tracy Dyer. Boom. So does Third Eye Jedi. Boom. I love it. Judges need term limits for sure. But you know what? It's kind of hard right now when we got the court stacked the way we like it. Can we do the term limits in about 20 years for the Supreme Court? I know I would support limits, but man, it would be sweet if we could wait. Does this allow him to place people in the Superior Court? I don't know. But he has, how many judges has he replaced at all levels of the judiciary? That's why some of y'all don't understand. You don't understand. Why isn't Hillary in jail? Look, you can indict as many people as you want, but if the judges are going to throw it out, an indictment is no more than an invitement. It's not really a word, but an invitation to the ball carries no more, an indictment carries no more weight than an invitation to the ball if the judge is just going to throw it out. So you got to get your judiciary in charge. Yes, I agree with you. It's not just another 4-year election. That's what the guy said on his tweet. That's what the guy said on his tweet. Let's see. Term limits for everybody. Term limits for everybody. The law schools need to be changed. Part of our problem is the bar. I agree with that. House cleaning is necessary before the indictments. And guess what it is? Wan Zhang. I hope I said that right. It's springtime. And what is the traditional time for cleaning? Spring cleaning. We got a little bit of spring cleaning going on right now in the United States of America. As of 4:31 Eastern time today, the President of the United States has seized control of the Federal Reserve, and a new day has dawned over the shining city on a hill, which is at least the idea of the United States of America. Maybe Jeffersonian democracy will get one more shot if you get off your hind ends and go vote in 2020. And I figured that. I know you live there. Wan Zhang is not Chinese. They just like to play one on YouTube. That's great stuff. Change all schools. Absolutely. 100% true. All right, folks, we got you warmed up for tonight's show, a special Friday night special with Mike King. He's in charge of the Real History Channel. That's his website, the Real History Channel. I've enjoyed reading it, and we'll be on tonight to talk about the real story, the real history of World War II, which you haven't heard. And we're gonna play nice. We're gonna tread lightly, but we're gonna try to bring you some of the real history of World War II tonight at 9 p.m. Central Time. That's a little over 2 hours from now. We hope to see you there. Grammy Quilter, that's why I'm here. That's why I do what I do, because Grammy's getting happy. And if I can make Grammy happy, that's what I'm here for. Do what Dyer says to do here. Subscribe, tap that bell. Thank you, Ian. Keep on kicking ass, my brother, but in a namaste kind of way. It's Trump and the people versus the NWO, says Truth Seekers Channel. I appreciate that very much. It's time to celebrate. Celebrate good times. Come on now. Let's get down while things are blowing up in a very, very good way. I just did my happy dance, Lisa. Didn't you catch it, ladies and gentlemen? Mark Twain said, easier to fool somebody than convince them they've been fooled. Harder still, said Jeffey Daugherty, to just give them the information and let them figure out for themselves. But that's what we're here for. We're the last generation of real humans. We're in the world-changing business, and cousins, that business is a booming. We're here. Chosen, selected, elected, and protected to show the world that things are not bad and getting worse. They're good and getting better. We're here to show people what it looks like to win, 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 and win again, no matter what the circumstances or the scenarios. But to do that, you got to unindoctrinate yourself. And then everybody say it together. We've got to get busy.